In a distant galaxy, the planet Valoria was in deep trouble. Valoria was home to a powerful alien race known as the Valorians. They were proud and strong, with bright blue skin and large, expressive eyes. For centuries, they lived in peace, exploring their beautiful world and building grand cities. But now, a dark shadow loomed over them. An enemy fleet called the Zarnax had appeared out of nowhere. The Zarnax were ruthless conquerors, known for their brutal attacks on unsuspecting planets. They wanted to take over Valoria and claim its rich resources for themselves. The Valorian military fought bravely, but the Zarnax had overwhelming numbers and advanced weapons. One by one, Valorian defenses crumbled under the relentless assault. As the situation worsened, panic spread through the Valorian capital. The leaders of Valoria gathered in a large chamber, their faces lined with worry. The room was filled with tension as they discussed their options. "We cannot defeat the Zarnax alone," said Commander Tarek, a respected military leader. "Our forces are too weak. We must seek help from beyond our stars." "But who can we trust?" questioned Lyra, a wise council member. "We have heard stories of a planet called Earth, home to a species called humans. But they are far away and we have no way to communicate with them." The room fell silent as the leaders considered this. Earth was a mysterious place, known for its blue oceans and green lands. The Valorians had once thought of humans as simple and primitive, but now, in their time of need, they were willing to reach out. "We must send a message," Tarek insisted. "If there is any chance that they can help us, we must try." The council agreed. They quickly gathered their best scientists to send a distress signal across the galaxy. The message was simple but urgent: Valoria is under attack. "We need help. Please come to our aid." They sent the signal into the stars, hoping it would reach Earth. Back on Earth, life went on as usual. People were busy with their daily routines, working, studying, and spending time with family. Little did they know that a cry for help was on its way to them from a distant world. The message traveled through space, bouncing from star to star until it finally reached Earth. In a small control room in a research facility, scientists were monitoring deep space communications when one of them noticed an unusual signal. "What's this?" asked Dr. Emily, a brilliant astrophysicist. "It looks like a distress call." The team gathered around, listening closely to the message. Their eyes widened as they heard the desperate plea from Valoria. "This is incredible!" Emily exclaimed. "They need our help, but how can we respond? We don't even know if they can hear us!" As the team discussed their options, the urgency of the situation weighed heavily on them. They debated whether to ignore the message or take it seriously. Some thought the aliens might be dangerous. Others believed it was a chance to make contact with another civilization. Meanwhile, on Valoria, the leaders anxiously awaited a response. Days passed and their hope began to fade. The Zarnax continued their assault, destroying cities and capturing Valorian soldiers. The situation was desperate, and time was running out. Just when they thought all hope was lost, a flicker of light appeared in the sky. The Valorians watched as a small ship descended, glowing brightly against the dark backdrop of space. It was unlike anything they had ever seen. The ship landed smoothly on their surface, and out stepped a crew of humans, determined and ready to help. The Valorians could hardly believe their eyes. In their darkest hour, humans had answered their call. Together they would fight against the Zarnax and save Valoria. This was the beginning of a new alliance that would change the fate of both worlds forever. As the humans stepped out of their ship, the Valorians watched with a mix of hope and curiosity. The humans looked different, with their varied skin tones and strange clothing. Some wore bright colors, while others had dark uniforms. They moved with confidence, their eyes filled with determination. Commander Tarek approached them, his heart racing with excitement and fear. "Welcome to Valoria," Tarek said, trying to keep his voice steady. "We are grateful that you have come to help us." The leader of the human crew, Captain Sarah, smiled warmly. "Thank you for having us. We received your distress signal and knew we had to answer the call. I'm here to help in any way we can." Tarek felt a wave of relief wash over him. "Our enemy, the Zarnax, is strong and merciless. They have already taken many lives and cities. We must act quickly if we are to save our world." Captain Sarah nodded, understanding the urgency. "Let's meet with your leaders and discuss a plan. We need to know everything about the Zarnax, their numbers, their weapons, and their weaknesses." The Valorians led the humans to their command center, a vast room filled with screens showing the latest battle reports. The air was thick with tension as they gathered around a large table. Tarek and Lyra explained the situation in detail. They shared maps of the battlefield, showing where the Zarnax were attacking and how their forces were struggling to defend their territory. As the meeting progressed, Captain Sarah listened carefully. She took notes and asked questions, her mind racing with ideas. "What if we use surprise tactics?" she suggested. "Humans are known for their creativity. We can create distractions to confuse the Zarnax while your forces attack from the side." Tarek's eyes lit up. "That could work! We could set up decoys in one area while we strike in another. But we need to move fast." The humans quickly got to work. They used their technology to create holographic images that looked like Valorian ships. They placed these decoys far away from the real Valorian fleet, hoping to draw the Zarnax's attention. Meanwhile, the Valorian forces prepared for battle, training harder than ever before. As night fell, the mood was tense but hopeful. The humans and Valorians shared stories around a campfire, forging bonds and building trust. They laughed, shared food, and talked about their different cultures. The Valorians learned about Earth's history and how humans had overcome great challenges. In turn, the humans were fascinated by the Valorian way of life, with their advanced technology and deep connection to nature. "Together we are stronger," Captain Sarah said, raising her cup in a toast. "We fight for each other and for a better future." The next morning, the atmosphere was electric with anticipation. The time had come for their plan to unfold. As the Valorian and human forces took their positions, they felt a mix of excitement and fear. They knew the battle ahead would be tough, but they also felt a deep sense of unity. Tarek stood at the front, looking out at the vast sky filled with enemy ships. "Today, we fight for our homes and our families. Together, we will show the Zarnax that we will not back down." As the sun rose, the battle began. The Valorian ships flew into the sky, ready to face the Zarnax head-on. Meanwhile, the humans activated their decoys, creating a flurry of confusion among the enemy ranks. Bright lights and sounds erupted in the distance, drawing the Zarnax away from the Valorian fleet. "Now!" Captain Sarah shouted, and the Valorians charged forward. The battle was fierce, with explosions lighting up the sky. But the Valorians fought with newfound strength, inspired by their human allies. They pushed forward, determined to reclaim their world. In the heat of battle, the bond between the humans and Valorians grew stronger. They worked together seamlessly, their strategies blending into one powerful force. The Zarnax were caught off guard, and for the first time, the tide of war began to turn. As the sun began to set, the Valorians and humans knew they were fighting not just for survival, but for a future where both races could thrive together. They would not let the Zarnax take their homes. They had answered the call, and now they would rise as one. Back on Earth, the news of the Valorian crisis spread like wildfire. Every television, radio, and online news platform reported the urgent plea for help. People were shocked to hear about the alien race facing destruction from the Zarnax. In homes, cafes, and workplaces, conversations erupted. How can we help? What can we do? These questions echoed everywhere as humanity felt a call to action. In a small town, a group of friends gathered at their favorite cafe. Sarah, a young engineer, turned to her friends with fire in her eyes. "We can't just sit here! We need to support the Valorians. They are fighting for their lives, and we have the skills to help them." "Yeah! But how?" asked Mark, a software developer. "We're just ordinary people." Sarah shook her head. "We may be ordinary, but together we can do extraordinary things. Let's organize a team. We can build technology to help them." The group quickly formed a plan. They decided to gather people from different fields, engineers, scientists, artists, and even students. They believed everyone had something to contribute. They set up a meeting online and spread the word through social media. The hashtag #HumansHelpValoria began trending, and soon thousands of people signed up to join the effort. Across the globe, people responded. In cities and towns, workshops sprang up. Engineers created advanced weapons based on human technology, while scientists developed new strategies for warfare. Students designed posters and videos to raise awareness and encourage donations for the cause. It was a remarkable sight to see so many people coming together for a single purpose. In a bustling city, a massive event was held. Thousands gathered in the main square, holding banners that read, "We stand with Valoria, and Earth will help." Speakers took turns sharing stories about the Valorians and their struggle. A sense of unity filled the air as people from all walks of life joined in song and cheer, fueling each other's determination. Meanwhile, Sarah and her team worked tirelessly. They created blueprints for new spacecraft, which combined human and Valorian technology. They designed ships that could withstand enemy fire and carry more troops into battle. As the team shared ideas and knowledge, creativity flowed. Everyone felt inspired, knowing they were contributing to something much bigger than themselves. In a nearby lab, Mark worked on developing a new communication device. This will help the Valorians coordinate their attacks better, he explained to his team. If we can connect our technology with theirs, we can make a real difference. The days turned into weeks and the sense of urgency grew. As the final preparations were made, the team gathered for a last meeting. Sarah stood before her friends and fellow helpers, her heart racing. We are ready to send our support to Valoria. We are not just helping them fight. We are showing that we are all connected. Together we can change the fate of their world and ours. With determination, they finished their projects and loaded everything onto ships bound for Valoria. The humans were excited but also nervous. They had never traveled to another planet before, let alone entered a battle. But they knew their hearts were in the right place. Finally, the day arrived. A massive fleet of ships, filled with humans and their advanced technology, launched into space. As they soared through the stars, they felt a sense of unity. They were no longer just individuals. They were part of a collective force ready to help their new allies. As the ships approached Valoria, the Valorian leaders watched in awe. They could hardly believe that humans from another world had answered their call for help. The two races would now stand together, fighting side by side against the Zarnax. Back on Earth, people watched the fleet take off, cheering and celebrating. They knew they were part of something important, something that could change everything. Humanity had united in their time of need, and they were ready to fight for a brighter future. As the human fleet approached Valoria, excitement and tension filled the air. The Valorian leaders watched from their command center, their eyes wide with hope. Commander Tarek stood at the front, a mix of pride and anxiety on his face. He knew the battle against the Zarnax would be fierce, but with their new human allies, they felt stronger than ever. Captain Sarah, we are ready for your orders, Tarek said, turning to the human leader. We must act quickly before the Zarnax realize we are here. Sarah nodded, her expression serious. We have a plan, but it will require teamwork. We need to coordinate our attacks and stay in close contact. Our ships will move in formation to confuse the enemy. Let's show the Zarnax that we are not afraid. The Valorian forces and human fleet took their positions in the sky above Valoria. The sight was breathtaking. Hundreds of ships, each painted with bright colors and powerful symbols, filled the atmosphere. The Valorians' sleek starships glimmered in the sunlight, while the humans' vessels were sturdy and equipped with advanced technology. As they prepared for battle, a warning light flashed in the command center. The Zarnax fleet is approaching, shouted Lyra, the Valorian council member. They are coming in fast! The tension rose as everyone took their positions. Sarah felt her heart pounding in her chest. Remember, we stick to the plan. We create distractions and hit them hard where it hurts. She looked at the crew and saw determination in their eyes. The Zarnax ships, dark and menacing, filled the sky with their menacing presence. They were huge and powerful, with sharp edges and glowing red lights. The enemy had no idea that a united force was waiting for them. The humans and Valorians readied their weapons and prepared for the fight of their lives. Here they come! Tarek shouted. All ships engage! As the battle began, explosions erupted all around. Bright flashes of light filled the sky as ships dodged and weaved through the chaos. The humans quickly activated their holographic decoys, creating illusions of multiple ships in different positions. The Zarnax became confused, firing at the wrong targets and scattering their forces. Now! Sarah called out, and the human ships surged forward. They flew in tight formation, firing their lasers at the Zarnax. The Valorian ships followed closely, their pilots skilled and brave. Together, they launched a coordinated attack that caught the Zarnax off guard. The sounds of battle echoed in the air, lasers firing, ships colliding, and the cries of warriors. The Valorians and humans fought side by side, their spirits high. They felt a powerful connection as they defended their homes. With each successful strike against the Zarnax, their confidence grew. But the Zarnax were relentless. They regrouped and retaliated with even more ferocity. A massive Zarnax ship, larger than any they had seen, fired its weapons with deadly precision. One human ship was hit, and it spiraled down, crashing into the surface of Valoria. Gasps echoed through the command center. "No! We have to save them!" Lyra cried, her heart racing. "We can't let their sacrifice be in vain." "Hold the line," Tarek shouted. "We must push forward. For the fallen!" As the battle raged on, Sarah noticed a pattern in the Zarnax attacks. "We need to target their main ship," she said urgently. "If we take it down, we can disrupt their entire fleet." Tarek agreed. "Let's gather our forces and focus our fire on that ship. Everyone, aim for the center." The combined forces of Valorians and humans rallied together. They flew into position, ready for one final push. With determination in their hearts, they fired everything they had. Bright beams of energy shot through the sky, striking the Zarnax ship directly. An enormous explosion lit up the battlefield as the Zarnax ship began to break apart. Cheers erupted among the Valorian and human forces as they witnessed the fall of their greatest enemy. They had fought bravely together, proving that united they could overcome any challenge. As the dust settled, the Zarnax began to retreat. The battle was far from over, but they had won a crucial victory. Commander Tarek and Captain Sarah exchanged proud smiles, knowing that their alliance had the strength to fight on. Together they had shown the Zarnax that they would not back down. With their hearts filled with hope and determination, they prepared for the battles still to come. The fight for Valoria had only just begun. The skies above Valoria were still filled with smoke from the battle, but the mood among the Valorians and humans was one of hope and celebration. The Zarnax had retreated, leaving behind damaged ships and scattered forces. Commander Tarek and Captain Sarah stood together on the command center balcony, looking out at the victorious scene. "You did it!" Tarek said, his voice filled with excitement. "We pushed them back!" Sarah smiled, her heart swelling with pride. "It was a team effort. We fought as one, and it made all the difference. But we can't let our guard down. The Zarnax will come back." Tarek nodded, knowing she was right. "We need to prepare for their return. But first, we must honor those who fought bravely alongside us." As the sun began to set, they held a ceremony to remember the fallen warriors from both races. Valorian families gathered with humans, sharing their grief and honoring those who had sacrificed everything for their world. Together, they lit candles and offered words of remembrance. It was a powerful moment that brought them closer. After the ceremony, Tarek and Sarah met with their leaders in the command center. The atmosphere was serious but hopeful. "We need to talk about the future," Tarek began. "The Zarnax will not give up easily. We must create a plan to strengthen our alliance." One of the Valorian leaders, Elder Kira, spoke up. "I believe we should establish a permanent alliance. Together we can share our technology, knowledge, and resources. This way we can defend against any future attacks." "That's a great idea," Sarah exclaimed. "We can set up joint training programs and exchange information. The more we learn from each other, the stronger we will be." The leaders agreed, and they began to outline their new alliance. They would create a Council of Unity, where Valorians and humans would work together to make decisions and strategize for future challenges. They would share their skills, culture, and technology, forming a bond that would last for generations. As plans developed, the first joint training sessions began. Valorian pilots teamed up with human soldiers, practicing aerial maneuvers and combat techniques. The humans learned the Valorian way of flying, while the Valorians adapted to human strategies. It was a beautiful sight to see two races coming together, learning from each other. Meanwhile, scientists from both sides collaborated on new technologies. They worked late into the night, creating powerful weapons and advanced defense systems. Sarah and her team introduced new communication devices that allowed for instant contact during battles. The Valorians shared their energy shields, which were vital for protecting their ships. As days turned into weeks, the alliance grew stronger. The Valorians embraced human culture, hosting festivals filled with music and food from Earth. Humans learned about Valorian history and traditions, and friendships blossomed. Everyone felt they were part of something bigger. However, they remained vigilant. Reports of Zarnax movements reached them regularly, and they knew their enemy was regrouping. The alliance had to be ready for the next attack. One night, while discussing battle strategies, Tarek looked at Sarah with concern. "What if the Zarnax come back stronger?" "We must ensure our forces are ready. We cannot let fear control us." Sarah nodded, her expression serious. You're right. We need to prepare our best defense. Let's organize a full-scale drill to test our abilities. We must be ready for anything. The next day, the call went out for the largest training exercise ever seen on Valoria. Humans and Valorians worked together to create realistic battle scenarios. They practiced coordination, communication, and tactics, ensuring that everyone was ready for the worst. As the drill began, the atmosphere buzzed with energy. Ships soared through the sky, lasers fired, and strategies were tested. The alliance proved to be effective, and everyone felt more confident in their abilities. After the drill, Tarek and Sarah stood together, watching their forces. We've come a long way, Tarek said, pride shining in his eyes. Our new alliance has made us stronger. Sarah smiled. And we will face whatever comes next together. The bond between the humans and Valorians had deepened. They were no longer just allies, they were friends, united in a common goal. Together, they prepared for the challenges ahead, knowing that their strength lay in their unity. They had created a new alliance that would stand the test of time, ready to face any threat that dared to challenge their world.